Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And I'm Kofuzi.
And we're coming to you from the University of Oregon. It's like I feel like I'm back in like high school or college when you got to go into the radio station at your school.
Going streaking across the quad.
Yeah, Robbie looks way too relaxed in this environment.
I'm here.
It's like if he just had an ashtray and a couple cigarettes, he'd be ready to spin some tunes, get the vinyl going.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're here at the University of Oregon for World Championships.
Quack, quack.
Now when I should play one of those sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
All right. Sorry. We're excited. Actually, we're fatigued.
We are
very
so fatigued.
tired.
Mike,
Yeah.
you're a special guest today. Normally, it's just the three of us doing the opening. And today, you wanted to be part of the party.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me invite myself onto the show. So I appreciate that, guys.
You're always welcome.
It's
We're
very kind of you.
slowly making you a part of the team until you're just engulfed in us.
You've
Happy
got
to
the
be here.
virus. I mean, it is true. We did a lot this week with Mike. We'll go over everything, but it's been like Team Believe in the Kofuzi this week.
All right. So where are we? Who wants to talk about? Megan, tell everyone where we're at.
We're in Oregon.
See,
We're at
I'm
Worlds.
so tired. I don't even remember if I said that or not.
Yeah, we definitely said it.
I'm so tired I can't taste this chicken.
So, all right, we're here at Worlds. We got here on Friday.
Thursday night.
See?
Everyone
No
keeps
idea.
saying
I
Friday.
know.
We got here Thursday night. It took us like a whole day to travel here.
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
Okay.
Tell them what you watched on the tarmac.
Okay, so I had enough time on the ground to watch one of the Lord of the Rings movies.
In the plane on the ground. Yeah.
Las Vegas, we had
And
a layover that turned into a...
Is because it rained in Las Vegas. They're like, what is the wetness coming from the sky?
Shall not take off.
Yeah.
And you shall not pass. There you go.
Well, I thought that's what you were going for.
I messed it up.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, we finally got
Hi,
to
you fools.
we finally got to Oregon on Thursday night, and Friday we kicked things off right out of the gate. With it, we actually did our long run, got that out of the way Friday morning.
You did 18. I think I did 16 and change. Meg, what did you end up with?
Somewhere like 16.
Yeah.
What'd you do, Mike?
I did not do a pre-run before the run.
I don't think Mike's doing grit.
I'm not doing grit.
He's having a rest period. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Sabbatical from.
Yeah, grit makes me overdo it in the miles, and I'm doing a lot of recovering right now, so I can't. Because if I sign up, then even if I say like I'll just take it easy,
You won't.
I won't.
That's what's happened to me this time. Like I was like, I don't really care. I'll just do my regular training, and I'm already like, well, if I just go an extra mile or two.
We should do a recovery version of grit.
How many days you could sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we
How
could,
many rest
we could probably
days
get a
can you rack
sponsor for
up?
that, like one of the Lagoon pillows or something. Be like, hey, we're gonna do a sleep challenge to see who can get the most sleep in the month.
Anyways, so we did our first group run with Asics from Eugene Running Company on Friday morning. That was pretty cool. It's like a nice way to kick things off. By the way, the weather out here ridiculous in a good
Delightful.
way.
I don't even remember. Okay, so we didn't have, I guess, a run the first day when we did the long miles.
Nah, dude, we did.
Yeah, that's what we just said. We just kicked it off at
Oh,
Eugene
yeah,
Running
that's
Company.
right. Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, totally mind warping here.
It's cool, man.
That's pretty good. We met Bob, who's the store owner of the Eugene Running Company.
It's like an iconic running place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And he had some memorabilia in there that was insane.
Like old school Nike pre-Fontaine thing. It was
Original
so cool.
shoes, just stories, posters, signed papers like from Bowerman.
I'm the kind of guy who, when you know those blue historic signs on the side of the highway or whatever, like in towns, I'll read those all day long. So if you get me stuck in a store like that, you might not get me out for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, you can always go back.
That is true, and I can because it's on the wrong side of town from where I'm at.
That's true.
Maybe someday. He needs to do a virtual tour of his.
I mean, we got footage of it actually on video, so
Okay.
Brandon can throw some of that in there.
All right.
But it is sick. Like he's got the original business card of like Bowerman, stuff like that.
Anyways, so we did that. We did that group run. That was cool. I guess we went to that was the first night of.
Well, so during the day, we did the interviews which will be on the end of this
Oh yeah.
podcast. We chatted with Sarah Hall, Emma Bates,
Val Allman.
and Johnny Gregoric.
And I got to tell you something. You may not know anything about discus. I certainly didn't. Kofuzi, you know anything about discus?
I know very little. I did it like once in high school.
Oh.
So that's the craziest thing. I've never even touched a discus.
Could have gone poorly if we messed that one up.
Enunciate.
Yeah.
But Val was incredible, and I really dig. I liked her vibe. I thought she was a lot of fun, and we actually ran into her at the stadium yesterday, and I still think she's the best.
She loved it too. She thought it was one of the best.
She was giving high fives. She was like in a great mood.
Right. She
I
gave
met
me
her
a
family,
hug.
You know,
I got a hug.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You guys are best friends now.
Central PA love right
Yeah.
there.
I mean, she's as close as you're gonna get to a superhero. Like even like figure. It's like she's strong.
Yeah.
How'd that hug feel?
Oh, I mean, I was intimidated.
Were you
to say the
was it
least.
more of an embrace?
Yeah, I think she wasn't trying to hurt me. But yeah, if you should follow on her Instagram, because her Instagram's cool. We'll put in the link in the description if I remember.
She's huge on Instagram. She's
Yeah,
a huge
she has
following.
100,000.
That's what happens when you win a gold medal.
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah. I asked her, would she? Well, you can listen to the. I asked her a good question about Instagram versus gold medals.
Yeah, we'll listen to the end of the podcast. That's a
Yeah.
little teaser. So, Kofuzi, what did you do Friday? So we did the interviews. You were doing your thing. Then we all went to the track, to Hayward Field, I should say. Do you remember what the events were that night?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look them up.
It was running.
There were so many in a row. Like I've been living there for like the last couple. I guess it's only been 4 days, but I feel like I've been there all the time.
There were some hurdle trials. I remember that.
Yeah. But what was your favorite thing that you saw that day? Because I know what it was for me.
Full cup of Coors Light.
Well, there were several of those. No, the little van.
Oh yeah. Did you? I nicknamed it Van Hayward.
I like that. That's clever.
That's a good one.
Van
I
Halen.
like that.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys interview Elkanah or no?
Yes,
We
we
did.
did.
Oh, yeah.
A Kanika bet.
I don't remember. I don't remember if you mentioned him.
Yeah.
Asics marathoner.
Yeah. I think so. He raced on Saturday. That was
Mhm.
or the men's. I'm sorry, Sunday. That was the men's marathon.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't thrilled with his performance, but he's told us something that I thought was like prolific, so I wrote it down. And it was that in the first 18 miles don't mean anything in a marathon. He goes, after that, you find out who can work out fast and who's a marathoner.
That's true.
And what he means by that is that that's where it falls apart. So if you have fast workouts, that's great. But if you're a marathoner, you know how to handle that last,
Yeah.
8 miles of the race, 8.2.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he was super nice. He was formerly a military officer.
I think he still
And,
is. Wasn't he
maybe-
deployed?
Yeah, but I think he might be out. I don't know. Maybe he's not.
Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I
I
actually don't
asked
know.
about it. I didn't ask him about it, but I
Okay.
asked Asics people about it, and they weren't. The people I asked weren't
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe he's the winter soldier.
But I mean, he was running for the Army
Right.
at Boston,
Yeah.
I think. So, I mean, they only announced his Asics sponsorship like last week.
Yeah, it's
So.
pretty recent. Anyways, so we did that. Then Saturday morning. By the way, let's just talk about Hayward Field, 'cause that was the first time we've been there.
Oh, it's
Any
like
of us,
mind
right?
blowing.
Yeah,
Kofuzi?
that place is. Yeah, it's my first time in Eugene, and that place is stunning. It's absolutely amazing.
Like when you when I walked in, like you almost get emotional. Like it is as close to the Coliseum. Like you walk in, and I felt like you were in the future
Yeah.
of like the sport.
I mean, yeah, it's super cool. And I also love that there's constantly events going on at all times.
See, I'm not sure I love that.
I like the action.
It's always there's like people are running around the track. Someone's throwing a discus. Someone's hurling a javelin. There's a hammer throw going on.
The little
there's people
vans
jumping over bars.
Driving around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we should talk about the little van because we kind of didn't say what that was.
You mean
for.
Van Hayward?
Yeah, Van Hayward. It's big. You want to tell them?
Yeah, there's a tiny little van that's remote controlled that basically when the athlete throws the hammer, the guy goes, picks it up, puts it in the van, and the van drives it back to the athletes.
And we're talking a tiny van, like because
It's a cute little van.
the van is probably the size. Well, give me a size, Kofuzi. What would be the size of?
like 2 or 3 shoe boxes.
Yeah, solid.
It's a cute van.
It's so cute. And the first time I saw it, I thought it was like just hyping up the crowd.
Yeah.
And I realized it actually served a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget though, there's also like all sorts of other camera robots like
Uh-huh.
in the stadium too. It's incredible. I was sitting next to one on one of the nights.
Wait, a camera robot?
Yeah, like the cable cam and then the trackside
little-
cams.
Right.
Train.
And like one of the cable cams, I was like sitting next to the guys that were operating it, and it would swing right like by my face,
Wow.
like after each like 100 meter
You
heat.
feel like it was coming for you?
I would
It
catch it
moves.
like out of the corner of my eye, and it'd be like, whoa, and I'd have to like jump out of the way. I didn't have to
That's
jump
good
out of the way,
practice
but I
for
felt
the
like I
that's
did
good
have
practice for the future when the robots try to take over.
Yeah. Kofuzi will
I'm
know
getting
how to
very good at
dodge them.
being like subservient and being like,
All right.
I think Kofuzi
After
might
you.
be a robot.
It could be.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
He's
No.
precision.
This morning we saw he's not a robot.
He just needed to charge.
There was some short circuiting.
Okay, so one other thing that we didn't mention is Legend, Robbie. You seem to really like Legend.
So Legend is the mascot. Clearly a direct ripoff of Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers. But he's a wild guy for sure.
A lot of testosterone and
There's some and 8 balls
Yeah.
going on. Yeah. With that mascot. He's all over the place though.
yeah. So the first night we actually the beers were big, and I think we started the wrong way. We had.
think so.
Did you have one of the?
IPAs.
Yeah, I'm talking to.
Sorry.
No, just so that like the audience, I'm talking to Kofuzi.
Oh, yeah.
Did you try what was it called? What's it?
I forget the name of
like
it.
bubble stash.
Yeah,
Is that
Bubble
one?
Stash.
I didn't have any of those at the
Okay.
stadium.
Smart.
We may have started off a little fast.
Well, it was so hot that day too, and we were just thirsty, and that's not a good combination. Free beers, thirst, hot weather.
Yeah, and then we ran into an Asics rep who was like, "You gotta have Coors Lights."
Yeah.
And
And I thought,
He was right though.
yeah, I mean,
That's the right move.
Coors Light is basically water, so I think that counts as hydrating.
For sure. That's how it works.
what were you drinking, Meg?
The seltzers.
Were they good?
Also smart.
Yeah, they're delicious.
We had nice seats, like 2 rows off the field in the finishing stretch there, on the 50-yard line.
That was the
It
next
a-
day, not the first day.
We didn't we have in the evening for that the first day?
No,
No,
first
the
day in the
first day
evening,
we
we
were
were like,
In direct sunlight, getting blasted.
yeah, we're just a couple rows in.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
like high on the first level. But there's not
They were
too
still
many
good.
bad seats in the
Right.
stadium.
Seats,
Exactly.
And because of the schedule, the events end at 8, and so dinner starts at 8. And we're from the East Coast,
Right.
so that really translated to the first night dinner being at like what?
Midnight. It's what
Yeah.
it felt like.
It did feel like midnight. It was probably 11.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. How about for you? Was that late for you since you're Midwest?
It's late for me because I go to bed early.
Mhm.
Like it's not unusual for me to fall asleep before the kids do. And so
They're drawing stuff on his face.
yeah. They're like, Dad, I'm just gonna watch my iPad. I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna be asleep. So that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was late for me, but the bigger thing was that like everything was very nicely plated and delicious, but it was all little plates. And so
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't eat this food.
What's the deal with little plates? No matter how many little plates you eat, you can't actually get full.
No, but
That's
it
a
was
fact.
it was also tough because there was one that was supposed to be a Wagyu beef burger.
Yeah.
It was more like a Wagyu meatball with a toothpick on a piece of
I did
bread.
like that burger.
So it was like, yeah, but it was hard. Like it wasn't easy to eat. So
It looked pretty. Like it was
Yeah.
presented well, but eating it was
we're
a disaster.
out in the sun all day, so our hands are probably grimy. I mean, I guess I could have washed them, but that's fine. It's craziness.
There are sinks exist.
Yeah, but so like to grab it, there was no utensils. It was crazy.
Well, but all that to say, we didn't get very full from dinner.
No, but we did drink plenty.
Yeah. Also.
And then we had to wake up and do another group run in the morning.
And what time did that one start?
Hey, before we get to that though,
Yeah.
for day one,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we didn't talk about the 4x4. Did you guys watch that one?
Oh.
Allison Felix's last race.
We weren't there.
Yeah, where were
I
we?
didn't know-
You
I
guys
was-
missed that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Dude,
was
that was so
bummed.
good.
I
It
didn't
was so
know, and I guess I just like, I don't know. I don't know how
I
we
saw it
didn't know.
on Kofuzi's channel on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, so I was super bummed when I just didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah, that was. I mean, they didn't win gold, and that
Right.
made a lot of people mad. But that they felt like maybe they didn't bring the best team. But I was like, dude, this was a fantastic race. Like, she still medaled. She went home
Yeah.
with bronze, and is just fantastic.
That's our last race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is also strange how many people we ran into the stadium. That, I mean, the industry is small.
Mm-hmm.
So we ran into all different people from all different brands and places and
people who knew Believe in the Run. So
Yeah.
if you're listening and you said hi to us, thank you.
lots of people who knew the Kofuzi.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah. And so then, so we go to dinner. We talked about that. We get up. What was our run that day?
That was with New Gen.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Believe in the Run, Kofuzi, New Gen.
Okay. And that was fun.
That
Yeah.
one was from
The Asics Uplift house?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so like Asics rented out this house and then like fitted it out for the entire like time.
It's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are glass. It's not just a house. Like, explain the house. It's like a Playboy mansion.
I
It's like-
guess.
it's like our little ranch.
Like a Eugene mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like very Cribs style, MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
First, I thought you said crypt.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, yeah. There's just body stack. No, it was MTV Cribs. You walk in, you're like, here's the lounge. This is where things are happening and blah, blah.
Well, you did that on a video. Did you did a walkthrough. He's
Yeah.
actually just doing his walkthrough.
They
video.
had a cold plunge pool in the backyard.
I think that's a hot tub that is just cold.
That's not
It's
working.
just not on.
You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah, it had
No,
jet.
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Someone said it was a cold plunge.
That's because
Yeah.
it's not on.
Just because it's not working. It's a cold plunge pool now.
That's kind of cool.
I'm telling you, that is a Playboy
Dude,
mansion. There's a
Rock-
closet of costumes.
Yeah. That's a redneck move there, letting the hot tub turn into a swimming pool. That's like what my family does.
I mean, all hot tubs turn into swimming pools.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that motor costs how much to fix?
Right.
Let that sucker die.
Yeah. Well, so anyways, that was a cool party. They had a pancake breakfast.
We printed shirts, so I got the coolest singlet that I actually used for the race the next day that had New Gen, Kofuzi, Believe in the Run. It looked like I was NASCAR.
So we hung out there. We went to Hayward Field again. I think the highlight event from that day was the men's 10,000 meter? Was that Saturday?
I don't know. You made me put my phone away.
Yeah, you,
So
you
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up.
you got that schedule out.
I'm sorry.
But I will tell you this. So the first night, our seats were okay. They were nice, lower level, but they were in the sun.
Yeah.
Second day, we are like a row back from like center field. I guess, what do you
I
even
call it the 50-yard line. I know there's no football
there's
field.
no football field, but
Yeah.
that's where we were. And like we are on the track, like easily on the track. Like as close as you could get to the track unless you were one seat in front of us.
Yeah, if we had
that was it.
one more beer, we may have fallen over the railing into the lane.
Yeah. So it was like such a sweet setup, and it was just like you could feel the runners going by.
We're so close that I had no idea what was happening because, especially for like 100-meter races, they're just in front of you and then they're gone. I'm like, I just saw people running. I don't know who was winning or what, but it was fast.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the big screen to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
like,
Right.
what the finish was because all you could see them is from behind,
Yeah.
and you can't tell.
Do you know what we found out? We found out that big screen was a late addition because people were mad that you couldn't, like, they just had those two little screens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
how-
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a huge screen in the one end of the stadium,
Mhm.
and it wasn't there originally.
Oh,
Yeah, they just added it like last year.
And track fans are not like what I thought maybe track fans would be. I thought it would all be like track people.
Yeah. No, it's like, but I think there was just a straight up American contingent
Yeah,
there where
for sure.
people were like, I want to see America win in a sport, and just showed up, which is cool.
There was some really good USA chanting going on,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Yeah,
The
that was-
10,000 meters final happened that morning
All right, so I was
for the
right.
women.
Yeah. Oh, for the women. Yeah.
that was an exciting race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
That was crazy. I had like adrenaline shakes for like an hour
Yeah.
afterwards. It was such
Wow.
a good race. Yeah. Like I was just so excited. And like I was like, my hands are still shaking, guys.
The seats are comfortable too. I could have taken a nap there.
The seats are amazing.
In fact, at times I kind of wanted to, but I thought that'd be frowned upon.
Yeah.
Well, what was great was then, of course, we went to dinner again after the events, to knowing that we had to get up at 4 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
For a 5K.
4 a.m., man. I don't even remember the last time in my life I woke up at 4 a.m. on purpose.
Yeah, it was a hustle. So we jogged over to the start, to the Uplift 5K. They had like kind of like a village. What would you call
It was
that?
they called it the fan festival.
Fan festival, which was sick. Like they had a DJ. Shout out to DJ Bella.
Bella Fox.
Two
Bella
X's.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
She was
so good.
hyping us up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, and we were just pumped up to get it. I was actually like, I was tired. I was like, I have no idea how this 5K is going to go. You guys seemed okay.
Energy wise,
Yeah.
I mean, we had
Great.
some coffee. It was all right.
Yeah, but the cool thing about this event was that it set up you for the men's marathon. So everybody that was running the 5K was also going to stick around and spectate the men's marathon, which was pretty incredible. We'll get into that in a second. But first, let's go into the 5K and talk a little bit. We had a couple PRs here.
Yeah. It says the Asics Uplift 5K, and like you said, on the same course as the marathon. And yeah,
The men's marathon actually took off on course.
Yep.
And then we started
2 minutes later,
immediately
we
after.
started. Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're on the same course as a race.
And you had to run under 30 minutes, or they're like,
Out of-
swept.
Out of
Yeah.
over 1,000 runners, only 7 people got swept.
that's pretty incredible. Real quick side note, on the group run today, I was just tired as hell, and I was like, I'll run whoever's last in the group, I'll run with. So I ran with her, and she did the 5K on Sunday, and it was just, she wasn't sure if she wanted to sign up because wasn't sure if she'd get under the 30 minutes, but she was like, I want to just see if I can do it. And she was telling me how like the whole time she was hearing the van like with the speaker.
Oh,
Did she do it?
She did it.
Oh, that's
Nice.
amazing.
But she was just like, I had to do this, and it was like right behind her, like 100 meters behind.
The pressure.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, it was cool. I love those stories. And so, anyways, I felt pretty good going out. Actually, my legs felt kind of heavy in the race, but I didn't really look at my watch like just a couple times. All I was trying to do was keep up with try to catch Megan, who was about 30.
Well, then you were trying to catch Kofuzi then.
Or yeah, I just saw Megan at first, and I was like, oh, I could see her ponytail flying. So I was like, she's like 30 seconds ahead, and I was like, I'll just try to maintain a somewhat close distance, and then try to catch up as much as I can in the last mile. So yeah, I ran on 19:17, so that was a PR for me. When I was coming down the finishing chute, I heard someone behind me yelling at another runner, being like, you got to get under 20, you got to get under 20. I was like, damn, I might not get under 20. I thought I was doing pretty well. And then I crossed the finish line. I was like, oh, well, this definitely got under 20.
Yeah. How about you, Megan and Mike?
Mike and I kind of decided the day before that he wanted to do sub 20, and I said that sounds good to me because I didn't want to race it. But you found a friend.
Yeah,
at the
Dr.
start,
Josh.
Dr. Josh. Mm-hmm. So you were going to go out with him, and then I was going to. He was going to slow down, and I was going to catch up to him, and then we'd run together. The first mile felt very hard.
everyone went out fast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone went real
Dude,
fast.
it was a super fast race.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy, I think, the
yeah,
guy in the speed suit, I don't think he won, but there was a guy in a speed suit there.
Okay.
There's also a guy in Brooks and basketball shorts that did really well.
I think the winner was 14:46 or something.
14:27.
14:20. Okay.
Like
Is that fast?
crazy?
Is that fast, Brandon? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think like a 19:17 5K in a local race, that'll get you like, I don't know, top 20. That was 150th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing
Out of
you guys
1,000 people. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
coming out. So you and Mike goes out a little faster. He comes back to you.
Yeah. And then we were just running together, and we were running faster than we said. But, I mean, Mike was having fun. There was a ton of people out there screaming Kofuzi.
Yeah, I mean, the course was a lot of fun, too.
Yeah.
Because it was, like, rolling a little bit, but
Yeah.
it kind of felt like it was a lot of downhill.
I
So
thought
I was
it
just
was
going
a
with it.
really nice course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the temps and overcast.
Yeah, perfect weather. I mean, real nice. So, yeah, then we cruised it in, and if I had known what we were running, because I wasn't really paying attention, I think our chip time, actually my chip time was 18:57.
Oh, nice.
But Kofuzi, because you started before me, I think your actual chip time was 19:00.
That's right.
Oh.
Just missed getting under 19, but that's still a PB for me. So,
Yeah.
by about I think 2 or 3 seconds.
And like we
So-
were talking a little bit, like
yeah, I'm chatty, so like I'm gonna talk on the
Wait,
run.
and film.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
film.
You should
as
have had
well.
Meg hold the GoPro. That would have took you.
I
that
don't.
would've
I
taken an
think.
extra
I
second
I
off.
actually think that Mike. That's like a pacifier or binky. Like he's got to have the stick. If you take the stick out of his hand, he'd probably stop running.
Sam's cutting Samson's hair
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the race, like I just didn't. I was tired, and I just didn't want to feel the pain. So I was like, I'm just gonna go. And actually, I talked to Megan before we went out, and I was like, maybe I'll just run it marathon pace and consider it like a marathon pace workout. So I didn't look at my watch or anything, and just kind of cruised, and just did it by feel. I just kind of enjoyed the course. I ended up seeing a couple of the Asics employees, so I was like, I'll just hang off their shoulder a little bit. And then when it came down to the final stretch, I was like, I'll just finish with them. So I saddled up next to him, and we crossed the line together. And I was actually surprised because it didn't like it was one of those times where it didn't feel like a ton of effort. And I ran like a 7:09 pace, which normally I would think would feel like effort for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I got across, and I was like mad at myself for not trying harder. I can't win. It's like I'm mad at myself if I try hard and then I don't come up with a good time. And then I'm mad at myself if I'm like, well, that was easy. And
But see, I think it was easy because you removed the pressure of the time.
yeah, but I didn't even look at my watch or anything. Like it was like just cruising along. I was like, I just got to finish this so I can lay down.
I still don't understand. It's a race, so just run hard. I guess that's what I don't understand. Like,
I don't know, Robbie. I got so many layers, man. I wish I could tell you. We have an interview with Steve Magnus coming up.
all right,
And I've been doing that kind of stuff and trying to use some of his tips, which, by the way, he is such an enjoyable person to talk to.
oh, all right.
Like
Yeah.
that you're gonna enjoy when we have that interview on. He's great. But anyway, yeah, I have no idea, dude. And we finished. We had Pecori coffee was in the VIP area. There was some cornbread, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we were doing mileage, so we ran back to the hotel and then got some.
Well, you're forgetting the men's marathon.
Oh yeah, skipping right over that. So we finished up the 5K, and it's time to watch the men's marathon. So Kofuzi, where did you post up for this?
I went like right out. There's like an aid station about like a quarter, maybe a third of a mile past the finish line, because it was the loop course. And so I started out there a little bit past that area because that's where a lot of people were watching. So I wanted to get away from people so I could run alongside. So I did that for the first time. And then I tried to find a way to continue like kind of going inward into the course, like on the interior of the loop. But like there was a bridge that I couldn't get past because I'd have to like hop on the course. And then there was a trail, and I saw a dude just like ride up his bike. And I was like, hey, this guy looks like a local. So I'm like, hey, is there a way to easily get like over that way, like across this little creek on foot? And he's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of a bear to do that. And I'm like, all right. So then I just ran, and I went like backtracked back past the finish, and then I went on the other end of the loop. So then I was, instead of being after the finish line, I was before the finish line. And then I went there. So I kind of like just ping pong back and forth.
I gotta say, thank the Lord that you had already done this, because I think it made our watching of the women's marathon easier because we kind of figured it out a little bit better.
Yeah.
I guess we should put in here that the course, in case you don't know, was 3 loops.
Yeah, that's important detail.
Yeah. So it offered multiple viewing options.
And there was only a couple pinch points though. Like it was 3 loops. Though probably the best pinch point was at a place where you couldn't get back to the finish in time. And speaking of finish, I got to tell you, I love Brandon because we had our passes on, and there's like the scrum of photographers that are at the finish line, like you see a wall.
Yeah.
Like Brandon somehow worked his way into that. He's the only person without a yellow bib on, like a photographer's bib.
Someone from World Athletics is listening. Just ignore this.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get a bib next time because he took fantastic photos. But he got in there and he just embedded. And so Megan and I got a really sweet spot that first day.
We were like on the finish line, like as close as you can get without actually breaking the tape.
Like if we had bibs on, it would have triggered the finish.
Yeah.
I was so mad at all of you guys on that day because I
was in the bleachers, dude. Don't be mad at me.
I first got to like the finish line. And I was like with like the regular crowd. And I felt like I had a pretty good spot. And then I see across from me an area that I tried to get into. Brandon's in there. So I'm like mouthing to him, like, how did you get over there? I'm like mouthing it, like, how did you? And he's just like, just come. And he's like waving to me to go over. So I like find a way to get over there. But because it's near the finish, I had to like run like a quarter mile down to get across and then come in through. And I did get to the area where he originally was, but in the time it took me to get to him, that's when he found his way inside, like sitting with the photographers. And so I'm like back with like a lot of the other coaches, and it's like coaches from all sorts of different countries, and like so no one's speaking English, and everyone's like kind of like elbowing in to get into the spot. But I found a spot that I thought was pretty good. I ended up being like 5 feet away from Brandon, but he was on the other side of a barrier and like sitting down.
And like in direct, like you finished into Brandon.
Like, so then I'm looking at Brandon, I'm like, how did you get in there? He's like, I don't know. I just walked in with everybody else. And then as I'm like having this conversation, like, how does he even get in there? Then I see Thomas is standing on front of the finish line, and like he's got his GoPro and his selfie stick out and drawing attention to Brandon because he's getting footage of Brandon, how great a spot Brandon has. So Brandon's trying to be incognito, and Thomas is there with his like, he's got his like Asics World Championship jacket on. It's not like the volunteer or staff jacket. It's not like a
just
media
some
bit.
random dude.
Yeah,
You're like a highlighter pointing out where Brandon is.
Yeah.
in the crowd.
It's right there, everybody.
and the thing to put the cherry on top of that, so Thomas is doing this like walking backwards move to get this like kind of zoom out, right? And he almost like bumped into staff that was like getting the finish line area prepped. So I'm like, there's like how much more. It was definitely like a dad, you're embarrassing me kind of moment for Brandon. I just saw him, he was like red and like hiding. I'm like, well, that's what you get. That's what you get for getting such a great spot. I wanted the spot.
Did you think you were wearing an invisibility cloak?
You know, at that point, I was like, I'm part of the event. You got to work around me. So we got to be right there for the finish. It was, I mean, seeing people run marathons well, you realize how unwell they run marathons.
Yeah, how fast they actually run.
Well, not just that, but like they finish and they're like, yes, they're depleted. Yes, you can tell they're exhausted. But at the same time, they're just like...
I'm pretty sure Eliud Kipchoge's never been depleted.
No, he looks fresh as a daisy at every finish line. Except for London that one time.
He doesn't even sweat.
No. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Actually, can we just skip ahead of the women's marathons?
Yeah, we really
should. Like 1,000 years long.
Yeah. All
right. The best race, the best event of the weekend was the women's marathon.
By
Let's
far.
be for real.
Did we have to get up early for that day too?
Of course.
Yeah, dude.
Because
Like,
started at 6:15.
Yeah.
So we jogged over to the start. Since we had been through this whole marathon deal, we kind of knew where to go, and it was so fun. The ladies came through. We caught the start. Emma, Sarah, and Kira all wore the same USA attire.
And Joan Benoit and Catherine Switzer were there to like start the race. The coolest thing was though is we already had somebody who had done a lot of videoing named Kofuzi. So we kind of latched onto him. Meg was going to do stories while I did the GoPro stuff. And we just kind of like, okay, he's already mapped out where we need to be.
Yeah.
Brandon's back in the pit, working into the pit.
I was in the porta potty for like the first half hour. And
Did you get any good footage?
Nothing great. But the good thing, they changed them out between the men's marathon and the women's marathon, which I was a little nervous about.
I didn't think they were going to do that.
I
didn't use them because I was like,
yeah, they're perfect. They're clean. They're nice. Just in case you want to know that. Anyways, so then
Robbie's review of the Porta Johns.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like bopping around, trying to fit in my grip miles while running around the course. I tried to do the perimeter of the course, like the loop, but there's a one part where they don't let you go down.
There's a bridge.
And you also forget you did one Robbie the Raccoon thing during the
during
the thing. So I had traded my Yeti pin. Okay, so there's a whole pin thing that we'd have to get into.
Yeah, so every day, Asics, when you go to the media hall, like, and you check in, there's a pin that they give. And these are really nice, like, enamel pins. And normally, like, I don't care about this kind of stuff. But someone told me, like, you're going to get, like, a credentials with, like, a lanyard thing on it, and you put the pins on, and people will bring them from other, like, world events, like the Olympics that they go to. And, like, at the Olympics, for example, a lot of the countries' track federations will give them, like, flag pins, and then you can trade those with people from other nations as a way of like meeting other people.
Yeah.
And so like pin collecting is apparently a thing, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. But I brought a couple of pins. I brought my Believe in the Run pin. I brought my USATF Masters Championship in Ames, Iowa, 2021
Yeah.
pin, you know,
That's a good
and
one.
some Metaspeed Sky pins that I had. And we've been trading, and there was one that was really popular. It was a gold Yeti.
Yeah. And
I traded for a Seiko one with a guy at the finish line at the men's marathon that has the world's
so,
logo
so
on
you
it.
no longer had the gold Yeti.
So I'm like, well, I'll just go back to the Asics Media Center and get another gold Yeti. And when I came back, they're like, we're out. So Robbie, what happened?
So I was walking to the race, the women's marathon that morning, and lo and behold, I just look on the ground, you know, just in case anything pops up. And right under it was like under a bus stop bench or something, there was a gold Yeti pin. And I was like, damn, I'll grab that for Thomas. And I did. You're welcome, even though apparently you didn't need it.
I didn't. It was nice that one of the Asics employees felt bad for me.
Yeah.
So she found a handful of the last ones
Man.
and got me one.
So now I have 2 Yeti pins. That's cool.
It is because you still have today to trade.
Yeah,
You might
maybe.
find somebody.
That'd be nice.
But yeah.
So that was my trash story for the week. I didn't find anything else.
Well, you
That
did
was
find a
fun.
lot of trash at Pre's Rock.
Yeah, I should have snatched some stuff from there. Yeah.
Full outfit.
I don't know if that's that's probably frowned upon. You know what's weird is that's frowned upon, but you know, like next week they're gonna clear that whole thing off. So, and
Yeah.
like then more trash will arrive.
So
I didn't leave anything at the Rock, by the way.
What are you supposed to leave at the Rock?
I don't know. Freaking Mercer brought a Prefontaine Classic shirt and left it there. I was like, all right. I don't know if that gives you good luck or what, but I rubbed there's a little figurine like into the one end of the Rock. Rubbed his mustache for good luck.
How's that going?
I guess we'll find out. We're only like 12 hours into to my life after touching the mustache, so could be. We'll see how it works out.
That's what she said.
You were waiting for me to say it.
Yeah, I was waiting for
Yeah.
Kofuzi to drop that line. Hey, but then let's go back to the women's marathon real quick. So we're bopping back and forth. Robbie, you did a different. I don't even know where Robbie went. We saw him for a second. We waved to him, and he just kept going because he was doing grip miles or whatever. So we're dashing back and forth. So we were at this bridge, and then there's like on the Priest Trail, back to the bridge, back to Priest Trail. We probably did that 3 times, and then we went to the finish line. So we started, did those back and forth, went back to the finish. We were able to get a great spot at the finish. One time when we were running, we were able, and if you watched our reels on Instagram, you can see, you know, Mike and I are running along with the cameras, and Emma, going at marathon pace, Emma Bates, looks over and gives us the eye, gives us a little smile, goes back.
She was pretty aware of people.
She was. I think they were enjoying the crowd was kind of cool because instead of like a regular crowd, you would go to like Chicago Marathon, you post up, maybe go to another spot, post up. This crowd was like a moving blob, like because everybody's trying to see them a couple times. Like it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, every time we ran back and forth, it felt like there was another 100 people coming with us. So
Yeah, I mean, it was like a really big cross country meet.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if you've ever seen like footage of it or been to like a collegiate cross country meet, like the athletes will go by and then the entire crowd moves and cuts like the interior of the loop to meet them on the other side and just ping pongs back and forth. So it was all like the same people over and over again that you were seeing, and it was really fun to kind of just like just chase after the race, and it was great, and it was a lot of fun to do it with you guys too, because I'm like, I've done this before where I run and chase after the athletes like in New York, but New York I was like running the subway and like waiting for a long time for different runners, but like because there was like a very condensed time window that I wanted to make sure we hit, you know, we had to move a decent pace. I'm exhausted today.
Yeah.
The last thing makes like we really got to pick it up once they hit this bridge to get over the other part. Like pick it up how fast? I think we ran like 7:30s over to the to the next one. But the cool thing was we got some awesome footage.
Yeah.
You can check that out on Instagram. But also we ran into Allie on the run.
That's right. Yeah, we found her. There's a section over where like you can kind of get towards Pre's Trail, and I was like, "Oh, Allie, great to finally meet in person," because we've been at like the same events. So like I'll see her stories, and I'll be like, "Oh, hey, you're here," and she'll be like, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm doing this. Let's meet up." And then it's like 3 or 4 events in a row, and then it just never worked out. And finally, I'm like, "Oh, there you are." So she gave me a big hug. It was nice, and we finally got the selfie and got to say hi in person. So that was cool.
Okay, so the women's first place finisher,
I think it was Gebra Salesi.
You are correct.
and we were in this little area that their coaches and stuff were in. They kind of did this dance, like they went nuts in the thing.
That was cool.
It was so
It was
cool.
fun.
We got a little footage of that, and then of course, Sarah Hall was the first U.S. Women.
5th place.
Yeah, 5th place, and then what was it?
Emma
7th
Bates.
and 8th.
Yep.
7th and 8th. Yeah.
And the great thing was, because we're here with Asics, we were able to get a follow-up. It wasn't as personal as our first interviews, but we got a follow-up with both Sarah Hall and Emma Bates in the media center here, where they came in and talked to us about their experience in the race. And it was sick because it was fun to talk to them the day before or a couple days before, kind of hear what their strategy was, and then actually see it play out and then listen to them talk.
And I feel like since the race was finally done, they were probably riding a little bit of a high. I mean, Emma PR'd that day by over a minute. They were a lot more loose, just like fun and kind of like.
Yeah, Sarah was much
Yeah.
looser.
So we'll have that video on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm having a hard time like jumping into the conversation because I'm used to just listening to this on my long run. So I'm just like, I'm kicking back, I'm getting comfortable sitting here, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. I'm like, I forgot I'm on the show this time, so I gotta
Part of it.
participate.
Yeah, and by the way, all the check-ins will be with Mike this week.
Oh, yeah.
There you
So
go.
think about what you want to say.
Yeah.
By the way, I have these little ditties on my feet. If you can't see the video version, what are we talking about here?
You know, you're wearing the same shoe as Mike is.
This Asics has this 3D printed sandal. It's wild. Called is it Actor Breeze?
Activreeze 3D sandal.
It's pretty wild.
It's very comfortable.
I mean, the idea behind it is pretty sick. Like, if it works out in the future that you can actually take this sandal when you're done with it, put it back in the top of the machine that printed it out and print something else.
So I didn't like them at first. Remember that? And I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was a day ago.
Yeah.
Dude, we were in a time warp here.
Yeah.
It's like a black hole.
No one
Remember that?
knows.
12 years
That
ago.
does seem like, I forgot what month it was. Genuinely forgot what month it was.
Yeah.
Like
Robbie was like,
yesterday.
it's August.
So, but they're just like really comfortable. You kind of bounce, sink down in, come back up.
I think it's much more responsive than the 4D forward
the
3D
Adidas
printed
one.
Adidas one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those are always really firm, and I'm always like, why isn't this like super squishy?
Yeah. And
These are super squishy, so I really like them.
Yeah, so tell me.
very breathable too. Your feet don't even sweat in them because there's air circulation everywhere.
Yeah, it's super ventilated.
So are these? I thought
guys
these were
are
on
doing
sale, but they're
great.
not on sale.
They were.
Oh.
They were really limited quantities,
Oh, okay.
and so like I made a video about them the first day that they released,
Right.
and then people were like, "It's not on the website anymore," and I'm like, "It's
Hey.
probably because it's gone."
Starting our day with the women's marathon wasn't epic enough. Then after that, we got to go have a private tour of Hayward Field
I don't even feel that. That's
and run
fair.
on it. And run on it.
It's not fair. I don't belong there.
I know. I felt very unworthy.
Do you think we are the slowest people to ever run? Around
No,
that
no,
loop?
not at all.
No?
You're doing that media 800 meter race. We got to be faster than some
And
of those
they
people.
also have some races that finish on this field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Dude, I could
The
be
Eugene Marathon finishes.
That's
on
right.
them.
That's
yeah.
right. forgot.
I would say that if there was a bell curve, we're probably on the slower end of that bell curve.
Yeah.
I could beat Phil Knight on that track right now.
Okay.
Head to head.
I think that's probably correct.
Yeah, he's like 85.
Probably
Right?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But we did have an impromptu race.
Yeah, we did race.
And
Dude,
I mean, I'll blame the skewers, the chicken kebabs, but there's no way that I think my performance would be any better. But we lined up for a 100-meter race, and who smoked us all?
Brandon.
Brandon.
obviously.
by a lot.
Yeah, and
I saw
then-
the photos too. He was just like smiling,
Yeah.
giggling the whole time.
Well,
He
he's
was-
like,
he was
"This is
giddy.
my element."
He was giddy. He brought a singlet to change into.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm
Yeah.
racing on Hayward Field. I'm putting on. I'm getting dressed."
Yeah, and
He switched into racing shoes.
He's like, "Welcome to my house."
I did bring the Meta Speed Edge. at least went that far.
Yeah.
I was like, look, if I'm gonna run 100 meters on Hayward Field, I'm gonna run as hard as I can, and it might be a bad idea, which it was.
Pooped himself.
I just felt today. I felt so horrible, like
Yeah.
my entire leg muscular system.
So silver went to Kofuzi.
No.
I got silver.
Oh, Robbie got silver?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I put up a poll and let everyone vote who they thought would win.
Yeah,
Most people voted for Brandon,
you're right.
which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Sensible.
And then like the other half of the people like voted for me, which I was like,
They are your followers, and you're fast.
well, then, but like I got smoked by both you guys. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I should have done that.
So then bronze went to Kofuzi.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You still podiumed. That's really good.
Yeah, I hit the podium.
Congrats.
And I got to feel what it feels like when you get lapped. Races. When you're watching these races on TV and you see that one person who falls back in the pack and gets lapped. That was me. So I felt bad that I let my country down, but I was happy I got the opportunity to run for my
your fellow Americans.
fellow Americans on such a big stage.
I will say when we just kind of jogged around it casually, coming around the like last turn, just imagining what it would feel like if the stadium
Crowd was
full.
roaring for you.
I can't even. It's crazy. Like it's got to be the most surreal feeling when that for those.
It's got to
athletes.
feel electric because all eyes are on you.
I
There's
mean-
cameras on you. The whole thing is going.
Your like heart must be jumping out of your
Oh,
body.
for sure.
I mean, I think that's got to be in those last moments probably a bigger advantage to have like a crowd that's going nuts than like super bouncy track because
Oh,
like
yeah.
like that
Oh,
will just
yeah.
that will make you fly. And we saw some people fly on
Yeah.
that last curve. You know, it's just amazing.
If you had asked me if I thought I would go up in Elon Musk's rocket or get to run a lap on Hayward Field a few years back, I think I would have said I'd probably be on Elon's rocket.
Yeah.
So
There's
this
still
is,
time.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the next one.
I think that little. I think
Elon, hook me up, bro.
I think that tower at Hayward Field might be a rocket. So
We're trying to figure out what that thing is.
I won't be surprised if it takes off in an emergency.
Over there. Or drills to the center of the earth.
Yeah, it
Just goes down.
Let's get
Did
out
you know
of
that apparently in Denver there's like a conspiracy theory that there's like bunkers and stuff underneath the airport? Did you know
yeah.
that?
Not
I
just
kn-
conspiracy theories, there are.
I know that. I'm well aware of that.
It's
theory.
real.
Yes.
I mean,
People-
all of Denver is a military base.
Well, there's a huge thing. Like, I'm not going to get into this.
No, go ahead.
It's just- the artwork on the walls is like
In the
very
airport?
interesting, yeah,
Yeah.
and has like some.
Well, what
There's
about that little
illusions to-
3D like little plant thing?
Yeah, that's all part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole big thing about that. We'll find out someday.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. We ran into Kira D'Amato later that day as well.
Yeah.
So we got a private tour of the stadium. We watched the women's marathon, and then we bumped into both Val and Kira D'Amato at the stadium.
That's one of the crazy things that when you're here, it just everywhere
Yeah.
you go. What?
This morning, Matt Centrowitz was
Yeah.
on the
Road bias.
road bias on the trail when we were running.
And the last Asics run, Nicole Hawker was on that same trail.
That's right,
So it's
yeah.
like,
It's weird. It's like those people are also here in town for something.
yeah. Well, I guess, yeah.
I mean, that's the crazy thing about this place is that like everyone here is so like deep into the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was leaving the stadium, I think 2 nights ago, and I was like head down, like in my phone, you know, like just kind of like shuffling along with the crowd. I was trying to get something uploaded real quick. And then I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. I almost like knocked over Asia Pro Lear. And I didn't really even know who it was at first, but then I was like, oh, sorry. And I'm like looking around to like see who I almost like bowled over. And I was like, Puma head to toe. And then I recognized the hair and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Double side.
I want to be like, can I get a selfie? But I was like, that's probably a bad time after I almost knocked her over.
I mean, but it's just been incredible. I mean, I feel how fortunate are we that we got this opportunity with the E6 to come out and participate in this. It was pretty sick.
I mean, I'll get in like an Uber and all the Uber drivers are like, so you here to watch or you're working? And I'm like, I guess I'm working, but it doesn't feel like I'm working because
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun.
I can't believe we actually did this podcast
I know.
without falling asleep.
Yeah.
I'm taking a nap over here.
Brandon's been asleep in the corner the whole time.
I don't blame him.
Fading off.
That's what you get when you run a fast 100 meter.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wrapped it up today with a run with Dina Castor this morning. there's no sessions in the morning for this day of track, so we're going to have an evening session. Against better judgment, I'll probably have some more beers and stuff, and then we get up at like ass crack
3
and get
a.m.
out of here.
Wait, we're getting up at 3 a.m.?
We got to be on the road at 4 a.m.
Dude, I didn't even check into my flight today.
Oh, jeez.
It's all right. I'll sit beside
You know where you're going to sit.
Yeah. But are you kidding me, though?
No.
That early?
We got to be on. Our flight is at 6 a.m.
I have TSA pre-check. Does that give me something? It's
Dude,
like-
the airport's so small.
I don't think you
I don't
think
it'll.
right.
We'll be
Yeah.
pretty good, I think.
All right.
So if you get the chance to have VIP access to the World Championships, we highly recommend it.
Yeah. And if not, follow us along on Instagram for
Yeah,
all
for the
all
journey.
inside
Matter of fact,
look.
yeah, you don't need to do it. Just let us do it for you. Mike's got it covered. Between us and Mike, I mean, we pretty much covered the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super thorough on some of the heats.
Yeah.
And like the track stuff. I have the events that I have been really keyed up on.
They can
but
go to Citius Max for.
they've been doing an incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many people are working for them now because they got like an army of people.
I think
'Cause-
it's like-
or how are they doing it all? I don't
They're
know.
like an ESPN.
They're
They are.
they're doing it better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm saying like they're an actual professional group of people that are broadcasting.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of hacks over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Running
we're-
around.
We're like,
They get invited to the media heat of the 800. I don't get that.
Yeah.
invite.
Who's he
I don't
still
even
stuck
know
on
what that means.
yeah. All right, so stick around for the athletes' interviews. It's going to be great, and then let's just kind of wrap this up. And next week we'll talk a little bit more about what we thought about Eugene, because this one went way long.